Bureau of Immigration officials reportedly attempted to have businessman Tony Yang released on bail, according to Senator Risa Hontiveros. Yang is the elder brother of Michael Yang, the former economic advisor to then-President Rodrigo Duterte. Tony Yang's arrest was said to be critical in Congress's investigation into criminal networks behind Philippine offshore gaming operators. However, in a statement on Monday, December 30, Hontiveros says she received reports that immigration officials attempted to push for Yang's release on bail. Hontiveros asserts Yang should remain under government custody even if he supposedly needs medical attention. She points out that there is much evidence to prove Yang's abuse of Philippine laws. The senator, who led the upper chamber's investigation into POGOs, cited the case of dismissed Banban Mayor Alice Go, who attempted to flee the Philippines but was caught in Indonesia last September 4. Hontiveros also calls on the Anti-Money Laundering Council to speed up its investigation into Yang's activities. Yang was apprehended and taken into the BI's custody on September 19 at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport after flying in from Cagayan de Oro City. During the Senate hearing on POGO on September 24, Yang admitted to being a Chinese citizen who had been doing business in Cagayan de Oro City since 1998. Yang faces complaints from the National Bureau of Investigation Northern Mindanao for falsification of public documents, perjury, and violation of a 1936 law that required judicial authority before any person can use an alias, except as a pseudonym for literary purposes. President Bongbong Marcos says PhilHealth services will not be hampered and will instead increase despite receiving zero subsidy from the 2025 national budget. In his speech during the ceremonial signing of the 2025 General Appropriations Act on Monday, December 30, Marcos says the government will ensure that PhilHealth benefits would expand further.
Sisiguruhin natin na tuloy-tuloy at mas lalawig pa ang mga benepisyo ng lahat ng Pilipino sa ilalim ng PhilHealth.
In a press briefing after the signing, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin echoes Marcos's promise, saying that the Office of the President will exhaust all remedies to sustain PhilHealth services.
Sinabi ng ating Pangulo kanina na walang mababawas na benepisyo kundi madadagdagan pa. At pinaliwanag ni Secretary Ralph Recto ngayon na ang PhilHealth ay maraming resources na maaari niyang gamitin sa pagpapalago na ang benepisyo para sa mga kababayan natin. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Ang inyong executive branch ay maingat, mabusisi sa paggamit ng ating resources.
Marcos vetoed 194 billion pesos line items from the initial 6.352 trillion peso proposed national budget, reducing it to 6.326 trillion pesos. Senate Committee on Finance Chairperson Senator Grace Poe previously said PhilHealth will get zero subsidy in 2025 due to its 600 billion peso reserve funds. She noted that PhilHealth had not been fully utilizing the allocation it receives annually from Congress. The education sector has been allocated the largest portion of the 2025 General Appropriations Act budget, with funding amounting to 1.055 trillion pesos based on government data. It was followed by the Department of Public Works and Highways with 1.007 trillion pesos. Following DepEd and the DPWH, the sectors with the highest budget allocation for 2025 are Defense, Interior and Local Government, Health, Agriculture, Social Welfare, Transportation, Judiciary, and Labor and Employment. Under Article 14, Section 5 of the 1987 Constitution, the government must assign the highest budgetary priority to education and ensure that teaching will attract and retain its rightful share of the best available talents through adequate remuneration and other means of job satisfaction and fulfillment. In the final version of the 2025 budget approved by the Bicameral Conference Committee, DepEd was allocated 737 billion pesos. Under the BICAM-approved General Appropriations Act, the department suffered a 12 billion peso budget cut from the amount approved by the Senate on November 26. President Bongbong Marcos previously said he would restore the funds slashed from the DepEd's budget, adding the proposed reduction contradicted the government's thrust of ensuring a continuing development of STEM in the education sector. Marcos signed on Monday, December 30, the 6.326 trillion peso national budget for 2025. Kanlaon Volcano had 7 ash emissions and 23 volcanic earthquakes in the last 24 hours, according to PhilHealth. In its advisory on Monday, December 30, PhilHealth says the ash emissions on Sunday, December 29, lasted 12 to 84 minutes. Meanwhile, the volcanic earthquakes lasted 7 to 74 minutes, which included 11 volcanic tremors. PhilHealth likewise notes that on Sunday, Kanlaon released 6,559 metric tons of sulfur dioxide. The volcano also produced a voluminous 200-meter-tall plume that drifted west and southwest. The agency previously recorded 4 ash emissions from Kanlaon Volcano's crater, generating grayish plumes that rose 100 to 200 meters above the crater before drifting west. Kanlaon Volcano, located in parts of Negros Oriental and Negros Occidental, remains under Alert Level 3, which indicates magmatic unrest. Hence, PhilHealth reiterates that flights in the vicinity of the volcano are still prohibited. It also reminds the public of possible hazards, including sudden explosive eruption, lava flow, ash fall, rock falls, pyroclastic flow, and lahars during heavy rains.